I am vengeance. I am darkness. I am the night. I am what people fear in the darkness. I am the Dark Knight. Hello and welcome to the Game Dojo. Tonight is a celebration unlike any other. We have the Batarang on standby. A place for everything and everything in its place. That's right, ladies and jelly spoons. The lights in the dojo are dark tonight as the Dark Knight rises. What else have we in my magical bag of tricks here? We have a Batarang, solid surgical steel for those Dark Knight encounters with the Joker. Let me see, what else do we have around here? I know you guys are wondering, what do I have? Well, check this out. You're gonna love this. This right here is my bat remote. Everything a Batman would need on a long night. Maybe some Uber, maybe some DoorDash, maybe a little Harley Quinn. What else do I have in my bag of tricks here? The Batmobile just drove in. That's right, this 1989 classic. The Batmobile, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, one of the best Batmans ever invented. I know you guys are like, why are you pulling out all your Bat memorabilia? Well, tonight, it's special in the Game Dojo. Tonight we celebrate the life and legacy of all the actors and actresses who have influenced this beautiful DC comic franchise. This Batmobile, believe it or not, is a phone. It's the Bat phone. And here in the Game Dojo, I have all the coolest toys. That's right. So I'm going to share a little bit of my toys with you and a little bit of fun and excitement. Tonight, we celebrate Batman, the DC franchise. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So stick around, sit back, relax with your favorite bag of snacks, and get ready for these game tracks. What else do I have? Oh, you might be surprised at what I just might pull out of my magic bag of trips. So let me put this back in my utility belt, and I have some other things waiting on standby so that you guys can check out. Like I said, the Batarang, foldable, back and forth, perfect one-to-one replica, and it's made out of steel. Want to know where I got it? Don't ask, baby. That's a Game Dojo secret. But for those rare nights when ninjas are attacking the Game Dojo, I just might suit up, put my cape on, and fight some crime. What else do I have? Oh, stay right there. You're gonna love this. So, what else could I possibly have? Well, if you looked around the walls of my Game Dojo, you might have spied with your little eye that I also have a beautiful Justice League collection. Batman being the crowning jewel of my collection, but I'll get more into that later. Stay tuned, I'll show you guys my whole Justice League collection. But for the purpose of this video, it's Batman, the Dark Knight. And that's right, baby. We're celebrating every rendition. Adam West, Michael Keaton, Clooney, Kilmer, Affleck. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's what you guys were looking at on my wall over there? That is my Batarang. That's right. 1989, baby. That's my favorite franchise. I mean, I love the entire Batman franchise, but 1989, Batman 1 and Return, Batman Returns, and then I would say the newest one with Christian Bale, the Dark Rises series, is actually a better franchise for me. But I love them all. They all have their own little intricate details that make them awesome. What do you think? I told you. Where does he get those wonderful toys? Well, guys, you just have to stick around and find out, or visit the Game Dojo, if you can make it up the climb. So I'm going to put my Batarang away and pull out some other cool things that you guys just might like. That's right, it has a stand too. It's pretty cool. Spared no expense. That was Dr. Hammond, Jurassic Park, by the way, in case you didn't know. I kind of wish the letters were painted gold. I might actually paint them gold, but I like it for just what it is. Absolutely awesomeness. So I'm going to put this over here, and then I'm going to set the nostalgia back up over in the corner because I have some more things to show you. This is the box that it came in. I told you, it's always the coolest things here in the Game Dojo. That's the back of the box, and guys, in case you didn't see, this thing is amazing. And I know what you say. It probably depreciates the value while pulling it out of the box, but here in the Game Dojo, I play with all my toys. What else do I have? Check this out. Where did I put that? Right here. Batman VR SC. This baby I got from Walmart for $1.99. Actually, it's pretty cool. I got it for Walmart for $1.99. I liked it mainly because it had a Bluetooth controller, but on the other note, it did have a VR headset that you can put pretty much any smartphone into, as long as it's like 6.1 to 6.7 inches long. And there's a downloadable Batman game in VR that you can watch that I may or may not link right here in this video. Oh, you know I'm gonna do it. So look to just where it says Batman DC Comics, and you will see a little gameplay of me and this wonderful thing. Now, if you've never tried these VR goggles from like Walmart, they're pretty cheap, but you know, every once in a while, like the Merge Cube, you get some awesome little experiences, and this one is just a great experience. This is the tray you stick your phone into. You slide your phone right into the goggles, and there you go. The stage is set. You have to download the app, but once you're ready to go, you're ready to go. And like I said, what I see, I will show. So keep your eyes on the Batman DC Comics logo, and you'll see what I'm talking about, baby. Give you a little 30-second presentation of all the goodness that you see in these babies. Absolutely love it. Absolutely amazing. This is my favorite part about this. And like I said, you just pop out the little tray and you can slide your phone right into it, as long as your phone ain't too big. It pretty much works, I think, with just Droid, but Apple may work too. I gotta read the box. Anyway, it's a cool little toy and piece of tech if you want something to do and have some time on your hands. Like I said, it's a pretty cool experience, and that's what we're here for. And you can also use the Bat controller, that's right, the Bat Bluetooth controller, to actually fight your way through battles here in the virtual reality. I know, it's pretty cool, right? I told you guys, I got a ton of Batman merch, and just for this video, I'm so glad I was able to pull it out. I'm going to dedicate this video to the great, late Kevin Conroy, Adam West as well, and Heath Ledger. We're done. Oh, you thought we was just going to do memorabilia? Well, that includes gaming too, boys and girls. That's right. This is the Game Dojo. When you come here, it's going to be some form of gaming one way or the next. So I'm just going to boot up a little Arkham here on my Xbox 360 and let you take a look at some of the beautiful nostalgia that is Batman: The Legacy digitally. Kevin Conroy also voiced the characters in the series of games. This game, to me, has always been the bomb. I've always loved playing this game. Catwoman and the sprites, and I'm going to say they did her right. Now, she's no Michelle Pfeiffer, but she'll give Michelle Pfeiffer a run for her money. So in this game, it puts you in the footsteps of the Dark Knight amidst a sea of foes in Gotham. And as you can tell from the design, it's absolutely wonderful. This is definitely one of my favorite games and favorite franchises when it comes to digital gaming. Now, you can get this on either Xbox, PlayStation, and as of late, Nintendo Switch. Now, the graphics looks a little bit better on the Nintendo Switch 2 version, but Nintendo Switch 1 can pretty much run it. I would say the first and the second one with ease. The third one it has a little bit of trouble with. Arkham City is a very heavy graphic game. So if you're going to pick it up on the Nintendo Switch, I would say try to have the Nintendo Switch 2 in mind. You'll have a better experience. If not, Xbox, PlayStation, and even PC. So we're going to jump in and show you just a little bit of the graphics on this beautiful game. And after that, we're going to celebrate the life, the legacy, and the mark DC Comics had on my life and on everything Actually,
Alfred, I
we
took
were
an
raised
encryption key from
on
a Tiger
DC
gun.
Comics
I'm going
and
to hack into their
Batman.
communications.
Later, I became a Marvel fan, but DC has always been my first. The crazy part is, I wasn't even a Batman fan in the beginning. But over the time and learning more and more and studying just who Batman is in the comics, I kind of liked it more. He wasn't a meta, he wasn't a super, he was a ninja with the power of his mind and technology. And I like that a little bit more. So this is the Arkham Asylum game, and I'll probably give you guys a separate gameplay of it maybe later on, but right now I just wanted to, just reiterate that this Batman is not just books and graphic novels and anime and TV movies and movies. It spans a franchise that hits every media, every single last medium out there. Let's go. I'm gonna pause for a second because set the mask down. What we are playing, what this video is dedicated to, is Batman. Now, when it comes to my favorite superheroes, I never really did like Batman, but it wasn't until recently, within the past 10 to 12 years, that I started getting into the ninja side of Batman. And that is where it intrigued me. Him being a member of the League of Shadows and Ra's al Ghul and him studying ninjutsu. He's basically a ninja. He even fought the Ninja Turtles. But I wanted to give some light to Batman because I wanted to show you over the last few years that I got quite a collection. You saw I got the 3D VR set. I got the Batarang. I got the actual blade that I got from Comic-Con, the Batstar. The Batstar, and I have this game. I have the trilogy up there on my wall. You can see the little bat emblem up there. But for serious, let me back out of this for 1 second. Give me 1 second. I wanted to give love and respect and a moment of silence to the late Kevin Conroy, because if you don't know who he was basically Batman. Now I know where Mark Hamill and Ben Affleck and George Clooney and the late Val Kilmer as well, even the Twilight guy, I forget his name, Robert Pattinson. A lot of people have worn the cape and cowl and mantle. You can even go all the way back to Burt Ward and oh good God, Adam West, the late Adam West. So many Batmen have passed away, and so many have worn the cape and cowl. Michael Keaton being my favorite rendition of Batman. Not to say that Ben Affleck didn't do a good job, but no matter how much weight you lift and bench press, you're not beating Superman without kryptonite. But my affinity with Batman became stronger over the years due to Kevin Conroy doing so many projects, voicing so many games, lending his likeness, and just understanding a different level of Batman, both comics and yeah, for those of you who didn't know, give me 1 second, I'm gonna show you something. Now I know a lot of you guys know that the Game Ninja is full of geekdom by my entire room. I also studied martial arts for more than 20 years and have multiple black belts and sashes in different arts. That's where the whole Game Ninja thing comes from. So my affinity for martial arts and all things literally all melt together here in the Game Dojo. And when I say I dove in to things, I actually have some comics myself that I have collected, some of them in plastic, never opened over the years. I have quite a few of them. Quite a few. Justice League, DC. I even have some Marvel. I do have Marvel. But it has been Batman that has intrigued me, especially the ninja aspect of it. And a lot of things that were in the comics were never brought to actual real life in the movies, which I kind of think they would, but I don't know of any actor besides Rain from Ninja Assassin who could possibly pull off the level of skill needed to be the Dark Knight, member of the League of Shadows. And when Kevin Conroy passed away, it made me dive even more into the whole Batman thing. I have Batman the trilogy on the Nintendo Switch. I have it on PlayStation. I have it on Xbox. I have it on the PC. There was one more Arkham game that came out after his death, and then you had the Knights, the Sirens of Knights of Gotham Knights. You had Gotham Knights that came out where Batman died in the game, and it was the legacy Bat family that took over. Red Hood, Robin, Batgirl, if you want to call them Nightwing. But I fell in love with the realm and the world of Batman, both in the comics, in real life, and movies. And I have all the movies, including the Joel Schumacher ones that almost killed the franchise entirely. But so many people and actors and actresses have talentedly have come and gone through the realm of Batman, and I wanted to take the opportunity in part of this video to recognize a few of them. As I said, Kevin Conroy, the late Val Kilmer. While I didn't agree with his Bruce Wayne, he was a pretty solid Batman. He was pretty solid. I would say a hell of a lot better than George Clooney. Of course, you have Heath Ledger, who played probably the most brilliant form of the Joker that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's a real shame that he never got to see how big and how much of an impact he made on the world when it came to the Batman franchise and the movie as a whole. And I will say, aside, I don't care arguably who you say took up the mantle of the Joker. Heath Ledger, if there ever was a real villain named the Joker, you're not going to get better than Heath Ledger. Mentally, physically, psychosocially, he was the perfect Joker, perfect casting, and almost all of that came from him. The improvised lines, the first time they saw him on the set in the dining room scene, where it's the first time they ever saw him in the makeup, which he did his own makeup, the licking of the prosthetics, which became an actual tick in the movie, explaining how he got the scars. It was a magnificent rendition of the Joker, and Heath Ledger bodied it. No due respect or disrespect to Jared Leto or anybody else, or Joaquin Phoenix, or anybody else who subsequently played the Joker character after him, including the guy from Jerome from Gotham, who was in Shameless. That actor is very talented. Closest to Heath Ledger, I would say I've seen his rendition of Batman, and I don't know why he wasn't chosen to reprise the Joker in a Batman movie. Absolutely amazing. Robert Pattinson, who now holds the mantle of the Batman. It's a saddened legacy, but it is a brilliant legacy to jump into. My respect and thought process hadn't been the same for Batman when I was growing up. I was more of a Superman guy. I was more of a superpower guy, and I didn't get it because I kept saying, what's Batman's power? Is he like super rich? That's his power. And it was a joke, even a joke they played out in the Flash movie. What's your superpower? Are you super rich? But forgetting the fact that almost nobody looks into the lore that he is a ninja. Like, he's a member of the League of Assassins, like the Shadows. Like, whoa, my chair, damn it. I hate this damn chair. Sorry about that. Phil, if you're watching this video, I need my chair, brother. This damn stick thing underneath here. Just, I almost went back live on camera. But anyway, you almost forget the fact that he's a ninja. Probably one of the most deadly members of the Justice League. While everybody else has superpowers and relies on super strength and super abilities, he is super smart and he's a ninja. I don't know if, did you guys ever dig into anything about ninjas for real? Junin, Genin, shoguns, bowguns, outcasts from the samurai clans. If you ever really looked into the lore of ninja, you would understand they are not to be fucked with, like literally on top levels. And I heard there was a cartoon where Batman faced the Ninja Turtles and even he got wrecked by the Ninja Turtles, which made me put the Ninja Turtles on a higher respect level because they are Ninja Turtles. And while Batman did crime fighting and things like that, like the Ninja Turtles, you forget the fact you have one ninja versus four ninjas and they were all trained identically. Like, so yeah, the four brothers versus the one. If he had Robin or somebody, maybe, or Ra's al Ghul, maybe he could have fared out better. But I kind of like that aspect of being blended together. But like I said, it all comes down to the whole Batman franchise and Batman lore. And I wanted to show you some of the iconic Batman things that I've picked up at Comic Cons and through people and through experience, and even dive into one of the games that I'm going to start replaying, because I'm going to replay the Arkham franchise all over again. But I did want to dedicate this video to the late great people who influenced the Batman culture. Adam West from the TV show, which most of you probably don't know, even going way back in the day. Burt Ward and Adam West was Batman and Robin. And there was even an episode where the Green Hornet crossed over into Batman, where Bruce Lee, who played Kato, actually fought Burt Ward, who was supposedly a black belt at the time, a dedicated black belt. So even Bruce Lee was part of the Batman franchise, and he passed away too. So there's the legacy of Batman is very rich in culture, from comic books to novels, graphic novels, to TV series, to movies, even the animated Batman series. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Batman animated series from the 90s. It is, in my opinion, I would say it's catered towards late teens and early adults, because the subject matter and the things that they go through in that Batman series, it's not childish at all. It's actually, it's drama. It's real drama. Maybe that's why they put it on in the afternoons later, rather than right after school. But when Batman came on, it literally just, it changed. It was a whole different feeling. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you maybe 10 seconds of it. I'm probably going to get in trouble for showing you 10 seconds of the intro, but I'll show you 10 seconds of it. And once you see the bit of it, those of you who watched it will know, and those of you who haven't watched it, you need to know. So give me 1 second real quick. Okay, so that was the animated series, and I'm probably going to get gigged and copyrighted for that, but it's something that I wanted to honor in this video, and I wanted people to see. There's about 6 seasons of that Batman animated series. It was on Fox. It was actually on a bunch of different stations, but I remember it from Fox. It is an amazing series. I own all 6 seasons of it. What more can I say about a legacy that influenced me way more than I ever thought possible? From a child to a teenager to an adult to a grown man to a grown-ass man to I would say I'm knocking on the door of elderly. Hey, you're as old as you feel. Batman has influenced a huge part of my life, and there are a lot of actors and actresses who could no longer be here, who died in sacrifice of artwork that will live on forever, as long as human beings exist and as long as the legacy of archives still exists. I'm not saying every movie was a knockout. I'm not saying every game was absolutely amazing. I will say the talented people who brought Batman to life deserve recognition, and this is what this video was for. Celebrating Batman. In 1989, Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson premiered a real live version of Batman, which to me, to this day, if there was a perfect comic book accurate Joker, it would be Jack Nicholson. He was comic book to the T. If there was a real life villain known as the Joker who did disturbing things and was brilliant and laid siege to cities, it would be Heath Ledger. And if there was one Batman, I'm no disrespect, like I said, to the predecessors, the people here and not gone, I would say Michael Keaton to me is foremost my Batman. And I didn't realize how much I respected him from Batman 1 and Batman Returns until the Flash movie. Now, the Flash movie was tainted by Ezra Miller's issues outside of the movie, so a lot of people didn't get a chance to see it, which is, it's a shame because it's a really great movie. It also was a fantastic resurgence because Michael Keaton donned the bat suit again, one more time. And seeing him as Bruce Wayne, seeing him as Batman, I had a different level of how much I just loved those Tim Burton versions of Batman back in the day in '89. They took the material seriously. In the 90s with Schumacher, everything became neon and weird and creepy. Jim Carrey was a hell of a Riddler, but to me, it didn't hold the same level of dramatic intrigue. Bat nipples aside, Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl with the whole butt scene with the thong. That's the reason why I give those movies passes. Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. There were, and don't get me wrong, because like I said, you even had Drew Barrymore as one of Two-Face's henchwomen. I guess you'll say henchwomen. There was one that was a dark side, and then there was one like a light side, like Cake Topper. She was the Cake Topper one. So, and you can't forget, oh my God, I'm going into Pervyville with this one. But you also have Dr. Chase Meridian, which was played by Nicole Kidman. You had Seal, who had the soundtrack Kiss from a Rose. If you did not sing that song once in your life, you're a liar. Everybody sang Kiss from a Rose, and I didn't even realize that it was popularized by the Batman Forever franchise. Shout out to Seal. Bro, I can't tell you how many times I heard that come on and just listened to the whole song, forgot what I was doing, forgot where I was. Ba-da-da, ba-da, ba-da-da, da-da-da. Everybody, when it came on, there used to be a greater time when alone on the sea, and you became the light on the dark side of me. See, even right now, see, I see y'all singing it too. Love remains a drug that's high enough to feel. Sing it with me. But did you know that when it snows, the eyes... Come on, man. See, y'all, you can't. I told you. It ain't me. It ain't just me. Right now, I bet you all you guys was humming that shit in your head. Like, damn, that shit was kind of... Yeah. Now, the level of those movies was different from the 1989 Batman franchise with Tim Burton. The Schumachers went into a more comical, whimsical, light thing. I mean, even Arnold played Mr. Freeze. And Tommy Lee Jones. You had some huge, heavy-hitting actors playing these off-the-wall goofball characters. And I don't know, I've never heard Arnold speak about it, but that's one of the funniest roles that I actually liked him in. I liked him as Mr. Freeze. The horrible puns. All right, everyone, chill. Like, it was so campy and awkward that I loved Arnold in that role. So why I say they are not my best movies in the franchise, because the Dark Knight Rises series, those next to the 1989 Batmans are my favorite. I will say there was something in each one of those renditions that stuck with me. And I like that. I did like that. So they have a place on my hard drive and in my life and in my DVD collection because they influenced the living hell out of me. And who the hell doesn't like Alicia Silverstone in tight black leather with a bat thong? All I'm saying, like I said, maybe pervy. But then you move on, and how can I forget? Whoo, see? 1989, Vicky Vale, Kim Basinger. I do not know why you didn't come back as Kim Basinger, as Vicky Vale. But I am going to say Batman Returns had Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. And I know the struggle you went through, Michelle, to be in that suit, and you was halfway passing out in between takes, and the suit was so tight that you couldn't breathe. But I am going to say, you did your own stunts. You really racked that whip. And when you were on the camera, people couldn't take their eyes off of you. So, no disrespect to Halle Berry and whatever rendition of Catwoman that she made in her movie. That is not part of my franchise. It's not in my DC universe. It's not in my DC box set. It's not in my DC digital collection. Having said that, Eartha Kitt as Catwoman in the old series with Adam West and Burt Ward, Julie Newmar, who was another Catwoman. There has been very talented and beautiful women in the franchise, and I would be hard-pressed if I did not mention Kim Basinger and definitely Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, aka Michelle Pfeiffer. You did your damn thing. And I don't know if you're ever going to come across this video, but I'd like to thank you for setting some wild boys' dreams on fire in that skin-tight pleather suit where I could see you breathe. Like, I could literally see you breathe inside the suit. Having said that, Danny DeVito, he killed it as Oswald Cobblepot. Penguin, absolutely amazing. I'm going to give you credit for that, too.
Danny DeVito's was amazing.
That's what I just said.
I'm saying yeah. I liked him.
You just messed up my train of thought, dog.
Sorry.
I was going down a train. You just messed my train of thought. Christopher Walken as one of the mayors of the town. You also had Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent. There's so many talented people and actors and actresses on this franchise as you go through the years that I never realized how much of a fan I was of this series than I actually am. I'm a huge fan. So I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to a series that influenced my life. I even went so far as to put on the black cape. You saw it at the beginning of the video. And I introduced you to some of my toys, which is one of my favorite lines. I still quote 1989 Batman to this day. Jack Nicholson, Jack Napier. Where does he get those wonderful toys? He stole my balloons. Why didn't anybody tell me he had one of those things? Bob, you're gone. He killed Bob because Bob didn't tell him that he had one of those things. He killed his number one guy because he didn't tell him Batman had one of those things. The Bat Plane. Rest in peace, Bob. Rest in peace, Bob. By the way, that was my talented boy from the Conan series. He was Malik back in the day. Absolutely great actor. Like I said, you could literally go through the entire franchise and see so much growth and so much different. And as the years change, so did the movie franchises. I would say the latest one with Robert Pattinson was definitely not my favorite, but I understand it. I understand it, and I know what they were trying to do with it. But Batman had some training. Him falling off of vans and smacking the ground and missing zip lines and falling. It just brings me back to, what is it, Friday the 13th, part 2, when Jason was falling over chairs and standing on beds and falling off and making all kind of mistakes with the one eye hole. You got to start somewhere. Having said that, I would be interested to see where the Robert Pattinson Batman goes, because I'm a fan of the franchise. But other than that, I would say if you have not seen anything from the back catalog of the Batman franchise, you are missing out on a huge part of pop culture and movies. Great movies, great television, great animated series. The Long Halloween, which is what that Robert Pattinson movie was based off of. His Batman is based off The Long Halloween. If you don't know what The Long Halloween is, I don't know what to tell you. There was Gotham Knights TV series. There was an HBO Nightwing series that was absolutely amazing. Starfire. Like I said, when you dive into the realm of Batman, Superman is I would say along the same way, and there's been a bunch of different Supermen, but when it comes to Batman, there's just so much more material villain-wise to dive into. So many unique villains. Cillian Murphy, or Cillian Murphy, however you want to pronounce it, as the Scarecrow. Bravo. Anthony Michael Hall in the series being hung upside down and tortured by the Joker. But like I said, everything comes full circle to the talented legacy of people who brought this series into the limelight and proved that there is stories, great stories, being told in the Batman universe, in DC Comics. As I said before, we've lost a lot of great actors. A lot of them in the Batman franchise. And as I get older, the more actors we lose, the more it hurts. And Heath Ledger, there is a documentary called This Is Heath. If you have not seen it, please find a way digitally, or if you have a DVD, or look on Amazon or any place else. I don't know where it's streaming. I will say it's something you need to watch. It's very hard to watch, very hard, because you're watching the life of Heath Ledger unfold and ultimately his untimely death. And it is a tearjerker. It is. But it made me understand and respect him even more for what he did. There's so much more to that Batman Dark Knight movie that you don't know about. The Dark Knight Rises. There's so much that Heath Ledger did in that movie that's beyond method acting. It's beyond brilliance. It's impossible to put into words the legacy. So let's give a moment to all the actors and actresses who are no longer here. Period. So give them a second. All right. I thank you guys for entertaining me and allowing me to be entertained by your craft. This is what true cinematography, cinema, and just entertainment, both in book, periodical, chronological, graphic novel, television, animated. This is what entertainment is about. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for paying homage to The Dark Knight. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great one.